Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com and the Big Four Accounting Firms YouTube channel. Before we get started, just wanted to remind everybody to support us if you have a chance or if you can. Even $1 helps, and we have a link in the description to a website called Buy Me a Coffee. It's just a way to donate to us and support us. Again, any amount is helpful so that we can keep putting out content. And there's also other ways for you to support us in the show notes to this podcast or on YouTube in the description. In today's podcast, I wanted to discuss a diversity measure that's happening in the UK. Now, after the tragic death of George Floyd, there were coordinated protests around the world, even though the event happened in the United States. And one of the places where the most activities happened is in the UK. And it only keeps pushing forward. And this pushed a move for diversity and other social justice movements around the world. And the Big Four have already been on a push for more diversity, even though they don't seem to be able to achieve any of their goals. And all you have to do is read the latest results from the Big Four accounting firms to find this out. For example, Deloitte UK recently released their financial results, and they had a lot of social justice metrics in the results. And they also had goals in there that they wanted to meet by this year, but they did not meet them. And then they established new goals for the future, which who knows if they'll meet them. And some of these goals, they don't really have any control over, but some of them they do, like promoting women to partners and promoting Black people and other ethnicities to partner. But they don't seem to get it done either way. Well, this move towards diversity is still raging on in the Big Four accounting firms. And the firm we're talking about today is PwC. They're the latest Big Four to push a new diversity measure in the UK. And they're doing this in the UK, which is a different move for them since it's usually PwC US that is pushing diversity. And Tim Ryan, who's the PwC US CEO, has diversity measures where he tried to get CEO signatures to embrace diversity in their organizations. Now, there was no real action item or measurable thing that came out of that initiative. It was really just for Tim Ryan to be in the news and to say that he embraced diversity and for him to put something on his resume or on his profile. If he really wanted to embrace diversity, he'd step down and put a Black person in his position. And of course, he would never do that because he wants power and money. And he has someone below him that is ready to take over the reins as it stands right now. And sorry, I'm going on a side rant about the US here. And that person is Roy Weathers. Now, Roy Weathers is a Black partner that is now heading a coalition of CEOs. PwC has appointed Roy Weathers to do this. He's a Black partner. And this coalition of CEOs in the US was created on October 5th of this year. And it was created to advance racial equity through public policy. And this coalition is called the CEO Action for Racial Equality. So that's something there where the Big Four could do something today. Their CEO could resign and put a Black partner as their CEO, but of course they're not going to do that. Now let's move back to the news from the UK. The UK has an initiative to hire 10,000 Black interns over the next couple of years. And this initiative actually has a website called 10,000blackinterns.com. And it was founded in August of 2020. And the program is supposed to start for interns in winter 2021 and summer 2022. And is primarily targeted in industries that haven't historically done well with hiring Black interns. And of course, accounting is one of those. And multiple UK organizations have signed on to the initiative, including PwC and the NHS. And there's no really requirements right now to disclose how many interns you are going to hire, since this thing is still being put together. The details, I'm sure, are just being worked out. And the group was founded by Black businessmen in the UK. I think it's a good initiative. They just need to do it globally instead of just in the UK. And this is a great step in the right direction, but the Big Four still need to promote Black business people and not just work on hiring them. Because once they get in there, they leave pretty quick too. And another issue with the program and things like this is that not everyone wants to be an accountant. You can't force people to be accountants. A lot of people don't want to be accountants because it's kind of boring. And if they want more Black people and people in general to be accountants, they need to raise awareness about accounting, and they need to make the job look fun and interesting. And if they can't do that, they just need to talk about the wages. They need to be open about the salaries and the salary progression and how many people stay in the Big Four over the long term, like how hard a Big Four accounting job is. But a lot of what the Big Four accounting do is shrouded in mystery. So if it's shrouded in mystery, then why would you join it? But also, if you hear from former employees that the job is tough and boring, then why would you do it? Not only that, accounting is a hard field to go into because there's a lot of schooling that you have to do. Then you have to get various certifications, and it's a tough path, but that's why it pays well. But I think a lot of people probably know that, and they just don't want to do the job. So these forced diversity measures are good on their face, but whether or not they work is really hard because the Big Four have been trying this for 10 years, 20 years, who knows how long, and they still can't get the numbers up. I don't think you can force people into being hired, but you can force them into promotions. You can promote people, but the Big Four still don't do that, and they need to work on doing that. But if you are a Black person in the UK or in any country or almost any country in the world at the current time, and you're willing to go through tough times or not easy things in school or work, then accounting is a good job. And if you have Black friends that don't know which path to go and they don't really care about necessarily the quality of life or quality of work and they just want to make money, then you should tell them to go in accounting because there's plenty of opportunity out there. But you see, I don't think that's really the problem at this point. I think it's just interest in accounting and knowledge about accounting. But I don't think the Big Four accounting firms are doing enough in that space. Even though they do have initiative to raise awareness about it, they could still do more on that front. But you can't force people into accounting. You just need to raise awareness. One thing the Big Four accounting firms can do is promote more people of color and help them along their career paths. I personally don't know how that's going to go. As you see in the US, you have a white partner who spouts about diversity all day long, and he's been in that job for a number of years now and no sign of him stepping down. So who knows how this will go in the future. Hopefully it works out, but even if it works out, the Big Four still need to work on promoting Black people once they get in and keeping them in the firm. So that's the update for today. To get future updates, make sure to subscribe to this podcast. Support us financially through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes to this podcast. Any amount of donation helps put out new content. And if you can't financially support us, subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video on the YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.